Imagine a weapon that costs less than a new television, fits easily in a backpack, and can be carried by a single person across any terrain. This isn't a futuristic fantasy or a scene from a science fiction movie. This is the reality of today's battlefields. The tools of war have changed, and the most powerful weapons are now small, affordable, and accessible to almost anyone with a bit of technical know-how. These drones are operated with something as familiar as a video game controller, making them intuitive and easy to use, even for those with no military background. The skills learned in living rooms and bedrooms around the world now translate directly to the front lines. This isn't science fiction, it's the reality of modern conflict. Drones have become a common sight above the world's most volatile regions, changing the way wars are fought and won. Off-the-shelf quadcopters, easily modified with explosives or surveillance equipment, can disable multi-million-pound tanks or gather critical intelligence. With just a few simple adjustments, a hobbyist's drone becomes a weapon capable of shifting the balance of power on the battlefield. The most disruptive technology in war is now cheap, accessible, and game-changing. What was once the exclusive domain of advanced militaries is now available to anyone with a credit card and an internet connection. Air power has been democratized, no longer the domain of wealthy nations. The skies are open to all, and the ability to project force from above is no longer limited by massive budgets or advanced infrastructure. Small groups, militias, and non-state actors can now wield aerial power for a fraction of the cost it once required. This shift has leveled the playing field, allowing even the smallest factions to challenge traditional armies and established powers. The psychological impact of drones, constant surveillance, and the ever-present threat of attack erodes morale in ways traditional weapons never could. Soldiers now live with the knowledge that they are always being watched, and that danger can come from above at any moment, unseen and unheard. The battlefield is everywhere. The front line is gone. Urban centers, rural villages, and remote outposts are all within reach, blurring the boundaries between combat zones and civilian life. A single operator, sitting miles away in safety, can threaten entire units or disrupt critical operations. Distance is no longer a barrier to destruction or surveillance. This is the defining feature of the drone era, an age marked by asymmetry and unpredictability. The old rules no longer apply, and the element of surprise is more potent than ever. The rules of combat are being rewritten, favoring innovation, adaptability, and creativity over brute force and sheer numbers. Success now depends on who can outthink and outmaneuver the enemy, not just outgun them. The opening chapter of this new conflict belongs to those with the smartest coders, the most creative drone pilots, and the boldest innovators. In this new kind of war, brains matter as much as brawn, and the future will be shaped by those who can harness technology in ways never before imagined. War was once defined by tanks, trenches, and the raw determination of those who fought within them. The thunder of artillery, the mud and chaos of the front lines, and the courage of soldiers under fire shaped the outcome of conflicts for generations. In these times, victory was forged in the crucible of physical endurance and the relentless will to survive. The fate of nations rested on industrial might, the ability to produce more tanks, more planes, and more ammunition than the enemy. Factories worked around the clock, and the bravery of soldiers on the ground was matched only by the scale of production back home. But today, the nature of warfare has transformed. The battlefield is no longer just physical, it's digital. Algorithms and lines of code now matter as much as bullets and bombs. Cyber operations and information warfare can tip the balance as decisively as any tank charge. Military power is increasingly measured in processing speed, data analysis, and the sophistication of artificial intelligence. The race is on to develop smarter systems that can outthink and outmaneuver adversaries in milliseconds. Soldiers themselves have become sensors, nodes in a vast, interconnected web of information. Equipped with wearable tech and digital communication tools, they gather and transmit data in real time, turning every movement and observation into actionable intelligence. The principles that drive Silicon Valley, rapid iteration, agile development, and constant prototyping, now fuel military innovation. Teams of engineers and developers work side by side with military strategists, building and refining tools at a pace once unimaginable. Drones, once simple surveillance tools, have evolved into flying computers. With a simple software update, their capabilities can be transformed overnight, adapting to new threats and missions on the fly. Yesterday's drone can become tomorrow's cutting-edge asset, gaining advanced image recognition, autonomous navigation, or even new defensive measures. Hardware and software upgrades blur the line between old and new, making adaptability a key advantage. Combat itself is more remote and data-driven than ever before. Operators sitting thousands of miles from the battlefield make life-or-death decisions through screens, guided by streams of real-time data and video feeds. War is now filtered through layers of technology, screens, sensors, and data feeds, creating a new kind of warrior who must interpret and act on information at lightning speed. This seismic shift brings not only new strategic possibilities but also profound ethical challenges. As we navigate this era of digital warfare, we're only beginning to understand the consequences and responsibilities that come with it. A military drone is a flying platform packed with advanced tech. Its cameras, electro-optical and infrared, provide high-definition video day and night. GPS guides its navigation, allowing autonomous patrols and precise targeting. Operators control drones via encrypted data links, sometimes relayed through satellites. Without this link, the drone is blind. Security measures prevent jamming or hijacking. Increasingly, drones use AI for object tracking and target recognition. AI assists, not replaces, the human operator, highlighting threats and sorting data. The result, a more efficient, effective, and adaptable weapon. Drones are the ultimate fusion of sensors, software, and autonomy. Drones are astonishingly affordable compared to traditional military hardware. A drone fleet costs less than a single fighter jet, yet offers persistent surveillance and strike capability. Their small size and quiet motors make them hard to detect and counter. Swarming, dozens or hundreds of drones working together can overwhelm defenses. This low-cost, networked approach is more effective than relying on a few expensive platforms. Drones are an asymmetric threat, forcing militaries to rethink strategy. The future belongs to numerous, resilient, and distributed forces. Drone swarms are more than just numbers. They're intelligent, coordinated collectives. Each drone is a node in a vast, interconnected network, working together with remarkable precision. Unlike traditional military units, these swarms don't rely on a single leader or central command. Instead, they operate as a unified organism, sharing information and making decisions collectively. Swarms communicate and adapt in real time, with no single point of failure. If one drone detects a threat or a change in the environment, it instantly relays that information to the rest, allowing the entire swarm to shift tactics in a split second. This decentralized intelligence makes them incredibly difficult to disrupt. If one drone is lost, another takes its place instantly. The swarm's strength lies in its redundancy and adaptability. Losing a few units doesn't compromise the mission. Instead, the group seamlessly fills the gaps, maintaining formation and focus. Advanced AI and machine-to-machine communication make swarms resilient and fast. These systems process vast amounts of data in milliseconds, enabling drones to identify targets, avoid obstacles, and coordinate maneuvers with minimal human intervention. Operators can oversee entire swarms, issuing high-level commands while the AI handles the details. Swarms can overwhelm defenses, saturate radars, and adapt to threats on the fly. By attacking from multiple directions and constantly shifting their approach, they can confuse even the most advanced anti-aircraft systems, making traditional defenses less effective. Early swarms have already confused and penetrated air defenses in real conflicts. In recent engagements, these autonomous groups have slipped past radar, breached fortified zones, and forced militaries to rethink their strategies. A cheap swarm could threaten billion-pound assets like aircraft carriers. The sheer number of drones, each costing a fraction of traditional weapons, means that even the most expensive ships are vulnerable to coordinated, low-cost attacks. This is asymmetric warfare at its peak. Quantity, coordinated by AI, becomes a new form of quality. Smaller, less expensive forces can now challenge larger, better-equipped adversaries, shifting the balance of power on the battlefield. The battlefield is becoming more complex, rapid, and automated. Human soldiers and autonomous machines now operate side by side, blending traditional tactics with cutting-edge technology to create a dynamic, ever-changing combat environment. The age of the swarm is dawning. As technology advances, these intelligent collectives will only grow more capable, reshaping the very nature of warfare and challenging our ideas of what is possible on the battlefield. Drones have already transformed modern warfare, as seen in Ukraine and Nagorno-Karabakh. Inexpensive drones now destroy tanks and artillery from miles away. Massed armored assaults are obsolete. Dispersed, mobile units are the new norm. Camouflage, concealment, and electronic warfare are essential to survive. Drones allow small teams to project power over vast areas. Militaries are shrinking, becoming more tech-focused and reliant on remote systems. But this shift raises new ethical and legal dilemmas. Distance blurs accountability. As AI takes on more targeting, the line of human control grows thin. Drone warfare creates a troubling ethical landscape. Operators are safe, distant, and detached, raising questions about the morality of remote killing. The lack of mutual risk challenges traditional notions of honor and justice in war. As AI gains autonomy, the idea of machines making life-or-death decisions becomes real. Who is responsible if an autonomous drone makes a fatal mistake? Our legal frameworks lag behind, and we must act before technology outpaces our ethics. Military drone tech often starts in the civilian sector. GPS, cameras, and autonomy are shared. This feedback loop drives rapid innovation and affordability. Drones now transform agriculture, filmmaking, emergency response, and more. But the same features that make drones useful also make them a security risk. Criminals and terrorists can exploit cheap, accessible drones for harm. The line between military and civilian drones is blurring, raising privacy and safety concerns. Society must balance the benefits with the risks, rethinking what's vulnerable from above. Laws and treaties struggle to keep up with drone technology. Drones challenge core principles like distinction and proportionality in warfare. Nations disagree on banning lethal autonomous weapons. Some see risk, others see advantage. Regulating civilian drones is equally complex, balancing innovation with security. Flexible, adaptive rules are needed to keep pace with rapid change. The choices we make now will shape the future of security, privacy, and conflict. We must write the rules for this robotic age, before technology writes them for us.